Test, 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 check, test. All right. Oh, wow. Ya da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Shabbat Shalom. 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 Welcome, everyone. My name is Ben Rausch. I'm the Rabbi Cantor and accompanist today. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone out in YouTube internet land. Myrna, would you like to light the candles? You want to try it? Go on over, come on. The record is 23 times of this. So as long as you, you're right? You're okay, you're okay. You're fine. You're fine. No problem. They're not late, we're good. Yeah. There's actually no, it's important to say this, there's no, like if you drop a Torah, or you drop a book with Hebrew writing in it, we should always kiss it, right? Torah is even bigger, but candles, there's no, like if a candle falls, there's nothing legally there's nothing wrong. You know what I mean? It's wax, you know. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I'm not counting. Yeah, we have a lighter too. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. You're good. That's right, you did. Great. So we bring the light in towards us. Good, it's okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you. So hey, nice to meet you. The Reform movement usually does the wine here, but I'm more traditional, so I think I'll wait till at the end. We do it traditionally, when you go home, you do it with the wine and the challah, one after another. So we'll just do that. If you don't have a siddur, they're in the back, and we can wait till everyone grabs some. If you want to grab some, you have one, Seth. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We usually take a moment to introduce ourselves to everybody. So if you don't know that, Myrna, Seth, nice to meet you guys. What are your names? David, hey. Robin, good to see you. Hey. All right, so let's start on page 6. The book, if you don't know, goes from right to left like Hebrew books. So the first page is in the back where it's really the front, but for us Americans it's the back, right? We read on top of page 6. Feel free to join along. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors have built this synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured. A beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into the sanctuary to affirm the sadness of our lives, and may we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us until we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak. Let these drop away at our door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our heart in prayer. If you turn to page 10, at the top of the page, we are going to sing Hinei Ma Tov. It translates as how good and pleasant it is to be with brothers and sisters, that we dwell together. Hinei ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tovu manayim, page 10, shevet achim gam yachad at the top. Hinei ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Okay, we now move on to page 12 and sing a little Luchuna Ranana, which is Come Let Us Sing to God joyously. Lichuni ranina, lichuni ranina, lichuni ranina, Ladonai, page 12. Lichuni ranina, lichuni ranina, lichuni ranina, Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Litzoy Yishenu, Nekad Mafana Bitoda. Naria, Naria, Litzoy Yishenu, Bizmiro Naria Lo. Lichuni Ranina, Lichuni Ranina, Lichuni Ranina, Ladonai. Lichuni ranina, lichuni ranina, lichuni ranina, Ladonai. Lai dai dai, la da 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 dai, la da da dai dai, da da da. Just lie with me. Lai dai 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 dai, lai dai 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 dai, lai dai 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 dai, lai dai 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 dai. We now turn to welcome Shabbat. On to page 20 for Lecha Dodi, which is the prayer we welcome Shabbat. There's 9 verses traditionally. We in the Reform movement do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and they're numbered. And I'll just say a little things. First of all, if you don't know me, I'm Ben Rausch. I'm usually the accompanist, cantor, soloist. Rabbi is not here. I could, for people that don't know and have never been here, I can just say, hey, my name is Rabbi Leanna Morit, and they would believe me. And then I could say all kinds of crazy stuff, and it would travel forever. Thank you. I tried. Maybe, yeah, I'll do my hair next time. So I'm running the service today. Our amazing cantor, she just had some surgery, and Rabbi's not feeling good. So I'm healthy as an ox, whatever that means. But I'm here. So I'll just say this. Very often we sing la 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 or la 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 or something like that. And I'll just tell you my own experience with things like that. When I was younger and I went to synagogue, and I'm a musician, and I'm looking at the words and, having trouble with the Hebrew because I grew up, not in a non-speaking Hebrew household fluently. My wife is Israeli now, so my kids will have that perfectly down because she only speaks to them in Hebrew. But I would see, we would do Lecha Dodi, and you'd hear la 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 Dodi, right? And I'd be like, well, where are they? Where are they? Because there was no la 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 la's written in the siddur, right? So I say that because a lot of people think that, and people get lost. So we sing la 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 on this, and just know that it's not there. Verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And right before we get to 9, we'll all stand if you're able, and we'll face the door to welcome Shabbat. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechuvanecha, ki him mekor haberacha mirosh mekedem nesucha sof maaseh l'machshavat gila. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Hitori kiva orech kumi ori shir dabri kevod Adonai lahelech nigla. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Please rise if you're able and face the door. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uvzola, tochem unei am segulat. Boi chala, lecha dodi lekrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. You may be seated. Let's read on page 22 at the bottom, a psalm. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night with a 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. The righteous bloom like a date palm, they thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in the courts of our God. In old age, they still produce fruit, they are full of sap and freshness, attesting that Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong. On page 26. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach chirtei, v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayei v'kol beit Yisrael, bagala, uv'yizman kariv, v'yimaru, amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach, L'olam u'lal me'almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, Yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemer kudesha brechu le'olam min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata dal min ram bi'alma v'imeru. Amen. We now turn to page 32 for Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu uvkumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'direi Toratecha uv'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negeh yomam v'layla. Ve'avatecha al tesir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. We now come to the most important prayer in Judaism, proclaiming God's oneness. The first prayer of monotheism, page 34, and then on page 35 we whisper this blessing. We say it once a year on Yom Kippur out loud. Page 34, and we cover our eyes and to go inward, unless you need to look at the lyrics. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Machoto Le'olam Va'ed. Page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam lebanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'leftecha v'aderech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beinenecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Great. We turn to page 39, and we read at the top. Seth, do you want to lead us in this, standing?
Standing on our two-parted show of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood inside this place. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt that there is a better place. Promising that one we bring to that promise passes through the ocean. That there is no way to go from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
We join in the Song of the Sea. When we crossed over the sea, the parted, the Red Sea, Sea of Reeds parted, and then when we got to the other side, we sang joyously. The women danced with tambourines and thimbles, and we sang Mi Chamocha. And if you look in the Torah, it's actually written as if there are waves. The writing is on one side and the writing is on the other side, and it's the only page in the Torah where there's a whole space in the middle. Page 40, Mi Chamocha, and we start this with a yai da 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 da. It's not written in there. Yai da 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 da, yai da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da ya da da, ya da da da, ya da 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 da. Mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, norat tehilot osef eleh, norat tehilot osef eleh. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Ze Elianu ve'amru, Ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. One more time, like da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da ya da 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 ya da 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 da. ונאמר כי פרנאי את יעקב ויעלום נהיה חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני Ga'al Yisrael. Turn to page 42 for Hashki Venu. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Sing along if you can. Let there be love and understanding among us. It's on page 43. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Page 42. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomrenu lechayim Ufros alenu Sukat shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu L'shalom. One more time. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. We now turn to page 46, which is the Amidah. This is our standing prayer. All the prayers up to this lead us to this. For traditional Jews that pray 3 times a day, they say this prayer 3 times a day. It's also known as the Shemona Esrei, which Shemona Esrei means 18 in Hebrew. And guess how many blessings there are in the Shemona Esrei? 19. Very weird, right? So it was originally 18 blessings, and then kind of in the medieval times, another blessing was added for people that were like Jews, but also like, harmed Jews, like by, giving up where, people were trying to hide their Judaism, from the church and things like that. So they added this 19th blessing. Okay. So there's 2 times where we bow in this, and I will stand up here so you can watch me where we do that. Sometimes you see people doing it more than twice, and it's actually not, we don't do that. And we usually start this, if you have a little space, you could even do it just in your mind. We take 3 steps back, and then 3 steps forward to bring ourselves into prayer physically. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 48. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zocher chazdei avot v'imahot, u'mevi gulel livnei v'nehem, l'man shemo b'yahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Izrat Sarah. Page 50. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye metim atarav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach, omarid hagashem, michalkel chayim bechesed, michaye metim berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha bal givurot umido melach melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'amanata lechayot metim. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hametim. Page 52. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, doshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We now take some time to pray in our own words, in our own head to ourselves. And when you're to say whatever you want, there's also pages afterward if you don't know what to say, and you could read some of those prayers. And when you're satisfied, and you can sit down, and we will sing the next thing. We turn to page 62 for Yehu Ratzon. My God, guard my speech from evil and my lips from deception. Before those who slander me, I will hold my tongue. I will practice humility. Open my heart to your Torah, that I may pursue your mitzvot. As for all who think evil of me, cancel their designs and frustrate their schemes. Act for your own sake, for the sake of your power, for the sake of your holiness, for the sake of your Torah, so that your loved ones may be rescued. Save with your power, and answer me. Yehu le'atzon imre fi, Yehu ratzon imre fi, ve'gon libi lefanecha, Adonai suri ve'goali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart, be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. O say shalom bimromav, say shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imeru, amen. We will now sing Misha Berach for those who are in need of healing. We have a Misha Berach list, and what we will do is I will, in between verses, I will come around if anyone wants to say a name of somebody, including ourselves. I always thought that it was someone needs to say it for me, but I'm allowed to ask for healing myself. Makes sense. So on our Misha Berach list for this week, Howard Simon, Gloria Berkowitz, Gittel Bachana, Perel Ben Sima, Shmuel Leib, Steve Gellis, Shalom Abraham Ben Golda, Beishiyahu, Max Wayne, Menachem Mendel Ben Yehudit, Umechael, Luke Wright, Srendel Chaya, Raphael Lebat Yehudit, Sharon, Dolores Mikel, Kedem Ben Shoshana Reuben, Bob Schwartz, Richard Berg, Zvi Ben Eliyahu Begolda, Maury Stearns, Moshe Ben Beryl, Benjamin Villeta, Robert Walker, Chazan Laura Bat Miriel Ufivel, Bert Gitlin, David Smicha, David Smith, Chazan Yaakov Sender Bat Harav Moshe HaKohen V'Rechel, Yaakov Dov Ben Bela Yehudit V'Israel, Elba Fuentes and Karen Elosua. I don't know if Leora Chazan Leora is Cantor Laura, because I don't know her mom's name in Hebrew, but Laura Bresnik, I'm saying for her. Okay. Mi sheberach Avotenu Mekor habracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say Amen. If anyone has anyone that would like to say their name. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. And let us say, Amen. Also, I want to pray for the safe return of family members in our congregation and people we know in Israel that are either fighting or helping out or volunteering. Daniel Jacob Bat Dina Rachel, Ari Dubin, Herzl Amichai, and Rabbi Weinstein's large Israeli family. Roe brothers, Air Force Captain. Gilad brothers, the bomb squad. Eli Tilson, infantry. Larry Gutterman, who is a member of this congregation and friend of mine, and he just got back. He was volunteering there. Shabtai family in Gaza. Andrew Goodman. All right. Thank you. So I'm going to do a little Devar Torah. I got the call yesterday that Rabbi wasn't going to be here. So I have twin daughters, and I'm doing a bunch of other artistic projects, things like that. Actually, that's interesting. I was going to talk about Truma, which is the parsha this week, and I've done some studying since then as much as I could. I love when I get to do this because I study, as much as I can, but this gets me to study more, when I have to come here and I have to give something because I don't want to make a fool of myself. No, we have a warm congregation. No one would ever make fun of me without me asking them to. So I'm actually directing a show. I'm mostly a performer, but I've been directing more lately. And the show it's a play. It's going to be streamed. I'm not plugging it. I want to talk about the content of the show. It's called Rolling with the Punches, and it takes place in the 1970s, and it's about a law that was on the books. There's a show coming to Broadway called Stuffs. A friend of mine wrote it, Shana Taub, another Jew who's traditional also. She and that's about women getting the right to vote in this country. It's about the suffrage movement. And this show is about, which I feel is the next human rights thing that we're going to go to. It's been a lot of, gay and lesbian rights, LGBTQ plus rights, trans rights. Now, the next thing, I was like, what's the next thing? Disabled rights. This is something that, as my friend who runs disability, the only disability theater company in America, there's one in Israel, there's one in Japan, and there's one in America. I don't know if there's one anywhere in Europe or anywhere else, but he says disability is the only thing that doesn't discriminate. Doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, what race, ethnicity, it doesn't discriminate. So this play is about something called the ugly law that was on the books in this country. Now, every state didn't have it for 100 years, but there were some states that it was made in the 1880s. And the law goes like this. I don't have the verbatim law, but basically if you were in public, and as Jews we could totally relate to this, if you were in public and someone was bothered by the fact that you didn't have a leg, or you were in a wheelchair, or you limped funny, or you talked funny, or you were born disabled in some way, or you're a war veteran and you didn't have a leg and it bothered them, they can ask you to leave, and it was legal to do that. So if you were in a court square, in a park or something, and you were out with your family and you're having a nice picnic and someone came in there and you didn't like the way they walked or something like that, you can say, can you please leave? And the police would have to be able to enforce that legally. They wouldn't be able to sue you for discrimination or anything. So one of the states that had this till the 70s, now it wasn't enforced, right? This didn't happen very often where people would say, please leave, but they also weren't very conscious of having ramps and things doors that were now every door, in New York, I have twin daughters, so I have a double stroller, so I can understand having to go through doors, let alone with a wheelchair as an adult for the extent of your life. They just started walking, so we'll be able to take them out and like walk them in if we have to. But every door on buildings, I think after like the 1980s, after a certain point, have to be a certain width. And that's also for wheelchairs and things. And buildings have to have, it's called, we're dealing with this because one of our actresses, she's in The Handmaid's Tale, and she's in a wheelchair. We have 2 actresses in a wheelchair. So there has to be ADA, American Disabilities Association, bathroom on that floor legally for their union actors, this professional show, and they have to have that for them. So this is about this law and about how disabled people are not treated very well. And what's also crazy is like there are people, like she says in this, like Roosevelt had polio. The President of the United States would have been able to be discriminated against if people just didn't like him. So in Chicago, it was like one of the last states to, I think, repeal this, but people had to, do this. It wasn't done on a federal level, I guess, to just wipe it off, but it's a true story about this girl that got it repealed, and she was just like a hero to the disability community. And when people were coming back from the war, Vietnam War, and they had their leg, they were amputated, right? And then they faced this. We treat our veterans, I think, not very good in this country. Israel is. I'm very impressed. The way they're treating each other. This whole thing is really unified Israel, and I think the Jewish people worldwide. I wish we didn't have to have this type of tragedy for that to happen. So so it's just interesting. And as Jews, there's the Chabad world, which is Hasidic. There were 7 major rabbis before the last one, and now there's not a leader for that community, but it's still very successful. And there was like a joke within that community: you're not a Chabad rabbi unless you've been to jail, because every single one of their rabbis went to jail. You want to know the crime? Singing Jewish songs in the town square. That's usually what it was. Teaching outside Torah. It's the same thing. It's the ugly. We don't like the way you have your payas. We don't like the way you have these little hats on your head. We don't like that you're being joyous and you're not our religion. And they would be arrested for that. It's shocking. Now that didn't happen here. We were really lucky, for the most part this is the best country it's been for us so far. But this happened in Eastern Europe where it was legal to do that. So I'll talk a little bit about truma. Truma means like a gift. And this whole entire parsha is instructions on how to build a tabernacle. So a tabernacle is a portable sanctuary. It's this whole portable sanctuary. And the details on this are like there's details about cubits and things like that. And so a cubit, back in ancient times, was a measurement from the middle of the finger to the elbow. What's the problem with that? What? Everybody's different, right? So whose is it? So in the Talmud, it's actually recorded that it's like almost 2 feet. It's like 23 inches, and it's probably not in inches because that's an American thing. There's a more exact measurement. But they give like the rings and the exact material and the linens of the curtain and how the cherubim, the angels, were to be facing, and just everything in specific detail. So why so much detail? Like why? Like why would God be so specific? Because we believe this is God that told us how to do this. And why does God need that from us? Why does God really, God should love us no matter what. But, so why be so specific? I'm going to open this up to you guys. Why? Every little detail, the rings, it has to be made of this kind of gold, and this part has to be made of this silver, and it's this long, and it has to be coated this way. Yeah, that's a really good one. That's a really good one, right? So I don't know if anyone's ever had a job where the boss is like just not very specific. I worked for my cousin who's a lawyer years ago, just as like he needed like a temp. So he said it was just going to be a short time, and I can audition on the side, as he said. And by like 2 weeks into it, he's like, I want you to read the newspaper, and I want you to come into my office, once a day, and tell me exactly what's going on of current events. I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. You said light filing, copying, faxing. You can tell how many years ago this was faxing, answering emails, phones, right? And I was like, and I said to him, which section of the newspaper do you want me to read? Like, which one? I'll read the theater section, but it's the New York Times, I'm not a fast reader. And he's like, well, whatever, just read something, and that's very frustrating, because I can't help somebody if I don't know exactly what you want me to do. And I see this as with my students, I'm always working on my language. I have piano students they're kids, and sometimes I say, oh, play that with your right hand. And then they go, oh, now play that with your left hand. And I'll go, oh, right. And I'm saying right to what they did, that was correct. But they get confused because I'm saying right. So I've learned to say correct, right? The language we use is very important. And what this does is, number one, it helps us listen. But it helps us as people to be specific, with love. Because the details are where the love is. Right? Like, I have a wonderful, amazing wife, and she's not demanding. Like, I really lucked out, she's happy, she's not materialistic, she's not about the jewelry. She just wants to sit and have coffee, right? And she wants to have conversation. But I know that me listening to her and doing specific things, makes her know that I'm loving her more. Because it's in the details. I think for those of us who have, someone in our lives that have passed on or something like that, we remember the specific things. It's not the time we had that dinner. It's like my great aunt, her matzo balls would get harder and harder and harder every year, and you can throw them and break a window. Like, they should use the IDF should get her recipe and use this instead of that for the Iron Dome. Should be like just matzo balls, be perfect. So anyway, it's just interesting, this parsha, and I encourage you to read it. It's so detailed, and I don't understand a lot of it. You really need a Talmud scholar to explain all this stuff. But there are pictures of this, and this Mishkan was portable. So the thing is, we take these details of how we worship God with us wherever we go. And eventually, we got the temple in Israel. It was the first temple. It was there for 800 years. And then we got kicked out and went to Babylon, which is now Iraq, for 70 years. And then we came back and built the second temple, and that was there for about 300 years. And now we're waiting for the final one, which is the third temple, where everything will be the world will be at peace. As of now, we're not even allowed to go up on that area. The IDF, the Israeli government, stops us from going. You can get special permission, and I know people that go up there, but I know other people who have mumbled under their breath or been on a cell phone, and they thought they were praying, and they took them in, like the Jordanians. They didn't harm them, but they arrest them, because we're not allowed to pray there as Jews. We're the site of our first temple. We're not allowed to pray, first and second temple. So we still have rights that are needing to be given to us. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. We are going to stand, and, I always forget this, what page Elenu is on. Oh, my goodness. You guys probably know this. 222. Oh my God. I don't have a cue sheet with me, so I'm usually using to look at that, but I think 282? Thank you, 282, and that's good because 282. Okay. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol. Please stand. Latet gedola liotzer breshit. שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad. Okay, so we turn now to the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. And I will read the Shloshim, the Yurtite list. Robert D. Boer, Jeanette Cohen, Isidore Cutter, Fred Danzig, Ethel Pesson, and Esther Rose Smith. Is there anybody here that is saying Kaddish for a loved one? Thank you. And if it's your custom to rise for this, please do so. If not, then it's okay to be seated. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'alma divrach chiroteh v'yamlich malchoteh v'chayechon yom echon uvchayeh d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitpromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudusha b'reichu le'elam min chol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata dal miran b'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mermav v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. So we have some announcements. Someone want to read the announcements? Great. You can abbreviate where there is stuff. Yeah, thank you.
My lounge act. Okay, religious school will not meet this Sunday in observance of President's Day. We are now in the middle of extensive revamping of our heating system, as all of you could probably tell this evening. The asbestos remediation is fully completed. Watch your emails for how we will manage during the repairs and if and when it will affect our programming. Social hall construction will begin soon after the heating project is finished. Our Purim extravaganza will be on Saturday, March 23rd, beginning at 4:30 p.m. The first part of the evening includes a costume parade, Megillah reading, spiel, Hamantaschen, and schnapps. This is family-friendly and free for all, starting at 6:15, and for $36 per person, we'll offer dinner, more drinks, and Hamantaschen, followed by drag queen bingo featuring harmonica sunbeam. Registration on our website or at the door. I know we start rehearsals for the Purim Spiel next Sunday.
There's still spots open if anyone.
Pardon me. Our February Tot Shabbat will be next Saturday, February 24th at 10:30 a.m. Bring your favorite stuffed animals. Ben, make sure you bring yours.
I will.
And even more important, bring your Ruach, spirit. And singing voices. We will sing, dance, talk, and have fun together. Come in your coziest pajamas to Pajama Havdalah on Saturday, March 9th from 5 to 7 p.m. Join Rabbi Morit, Cantor Bresnik, and some of their favorite stuffed animals as the stars come out on Saturday night to say goodbye to Shabbat with pizza, a movie to be announced, snacks, a little story, a little song, and a little mystery in the light of Havdalah. Our next community Shabbat dinner will be Friday, March 15 at 7 p.m. Join us for a fun, informal Shabbat community dinner. This month, we are especially welcoming alumni of our Introduction to Judaism classes to this dinner, though all are welcome. Refresh your Shabbat table skills and reconnect with your classmates while celebrating a delicious Shabbat evening together. I'd just like to say I've been to most of these dinners, and they're wonderful opportunities to meet and have fun with your fellow congregants. Where did I leave off? Meet other members, see old friends, and make new ones. New members, prospective members, and families with children are particularly welcome. Register online by Tuesday, March 12th. You are now able to follow the progress of our renovation with the Follow Our Building Progress blog. Go to the front page of our website and hit the link. What can you do to help Israel in this time of great need? We have posted links on a special Support Israel page on our website. These include a wide range of organizations you can donate to and links to supportive services and other related information. Change the world one meal at a time with 1 hour of your week. Help feed our hungry and homeless neighbors Thursdays from 5 to 6 p.m. at our food pantry. Don't have an hour? Help feed them with a donation for the food we buy. Details on the website, or just show up. You'll be glad you did. Come to services and double your mitzvah points by just pushing a couple of buttons. Talk to me about being part of the tech crew to ensure services are live streamed to all at home. Plenty of other ways to rack up those mitzvah points by volunteering a little or a lot, or just ask Phil or Rabbi at the Oneg. Great news, we now feel we have raised enough for our social hall renovation and are now fundraising our kitchen renovation, roof, and audio-video upgrades. If you haven't yet donated or pledged, please do. Also, check if your employer makes matching donations to charitable causes. Registration and more information on all of this on our website and in our weekly. Ben, there's another page here. Is that more announcements?
I don't know. No, I don't, maybe not.
No, this is notes for the service.
Got it. All right, please turn to page 327 for Ein Kelohenu, and then we will do wine and challah. So just know the way this is written, the first two lines are what we're singing, and then when they have this on 327, the third and fourth line of every grouping is in Ladino, which is a combination of Spanish and Hebrew, the Sephardic equivalent of Yiddish, which is a combination of German and Hebrew. There's also Judeo-Arabic that people in the Middle East used to speak. Page 327. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kimalkenu, Yadadai, Dadadai, 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 Yadadai, Yadadai, Ein Kamoshienu, Mi Kelohenu, Mi Kadonenu, Mi Kimalkenu, Yadadai, Dadadai, 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 Yadadai, Yadadai, Mi Kamoshienu, no del Elohenu, no del Adonenu, no del Malkenu, yadadai, 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 no del Moshienu, Baruch Elohenu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Yadadai, Dadadai, 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 Yadadai, Dadadai, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Ahatu Malkeinu, Yadadai, Dadadai, 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 Yadadai, Dadadai, Atahu Moshienu. Yay day 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 da 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 day. Yay day 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 da 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 day. Yay da da day 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 la da day day la da day day la da day. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehila l'mikra el kodesh zecher l'tziyat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta Yotanu kidashta mikol hamim Shabbat kodshecha bi'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Oh, that's strong. Grape juice, grape juice. Very maybe. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Okay. Magically sliced. If you pray with enough intention, God slices it for us, please. Welcome, welcome. Is your first time here? Oh, welcome. Did you just move to the area? Oh, great. Where, from where? Oh. Yeah.